Is Little Nightmares 2 a sequel or a prequel? Well, let's talk about it. What is up, SmackNPie here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about what I have been trying to avoid, and that is Little Nightmares 2 position in the timeline. Now, this is not a timeline video, it is just me tackling specifically Little Nightmares 2 events and making some sense of it, whether it being a sequel or a prequel. So, let's just get started. Now, the best lead and the best evidence that this game can give us to derive whether the game is prequel or sequel is the scene where Six and Mono meet for the first time. In that room where Six got captured by Hunter, you can see on the wall. That wall is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in all of Little Nightmares franchise. On the wall, you can see some tally marks and some very familiar things, such as gnomes, a potential lady, and a kid. Now, some people derive this to be gnomes from Little Nightmares 1, some people derive the kid from the Runaway Kid in Little Nightmares DLC. Some even say that these are iterations that will happen in the future, but if they are iterations of the future, why are they here? Now, this room suggests in a lot of ways that this might be a sequel. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's discuss both. What if it is a sequel or a prequel? What evidences do we have to suggest which one it is? And then at the end, we're gonna come to a conclusion. But this suggests that this is a sequel, as in this has already happened. We know Six, after getting caught, she's using these tally marks, but most specifically, these tally marks show something else. That there is a cycle, a repeat of events. Like I said in that previous video, please check it out. I said that Mono is in a time loop, but Six is in a cycle. Time loop and cycle on a surface level, they might seem one and same, but they're drastically different. And the drawings on the wall suggest that these events have actually happened, which is why Six have these memories. And not just that, we have a problem here with the sequel theory. When you look at Six's behavior, how she's closed off, and the secret ending that you see where she gets hungry for the first time, that suggests otherwise. It suggests that this game is a prequel. We see the mall getting a reference for the first time, not even in the entire game, but just the secret ending, something that many people will just gloss over. Why the hunger came so late? Where was it? So now you got two sides. You have evidences that support this is a sequel of Six going through the same thing over and over again. Why does she remember gnomes? We even see gnomes pictures and gnomes themselves in Hunter area. By that point, if this is happening before the first game, how come gnomes exist whilst Little Nightmares 2 events are happening? I'll get to it later. But there is a big thing now that we moved from sequel to prequel. We've discussed how this game has evidences that says this is a prequel, specifically the ending. And hunger is the biggest wrench in the sequel theory. The developers themselves said, whilst marketing the game, that Six is fading. One of the big motivations that they gave to the players is that Six is fading from this world. Why is she fading? Well, my theory is, in Little Nightmares comics, we see Six meeting up with other kids who got powers, and then we also see in Little Nightmares 1, once she got rid of everything, when she got the powers, when she escaped the maw, she was outside in a river. And what do we see in Very Little Nightmares? That is correct. The ending shows Pretender and the Raincoat Girl going at it. They drowned. The coat came up to the surface level. One can easily put two and two together, that at the end of Little Nightmares 1, at the end of Very Little Nightmares, or if you pick Little Nightmares comics, Six definitely, absolutely traveled from that to the Pale City. Little Nightmares 2, we see Six is aware of the fact that you have to push this door into the river, use it as a boat to enter the mid part of the city. There are so many ways that we can take this. So if you look at her behavior, if you look at her actions, if you look at her secret ending, it says that this is a prequel. If you look at the signs, gnomes, and so many other stuff, specifically the Shadow Six that happens at the end, because we've seen that shadow back there, it suggests that it is a sequel. So what is happening? Well, here comes my take on the entire situation. I believe this game is both a sequel and a prequel, but at the same time, it is not a sequel, it is not a prequel. Now, I theorized this for Bendy and the Dark Revival. I said the game is happening at the same time as the first game, but here it is a bit different. See, for you guys to understand what I'm trying to go here at, please watch the previous video where I talked about time loop and cycle. That would easily explain where I'm going here, because as I look more into it, developers were definitely trying to make it complicated. One character is in a time loop, the other character is in a cycle. Time loop, Mono doesn't know that he'll become Thin Man. 6 on the other hand, however, her shadow, which is a part of her who got separated by Thin Man, 1 and 2, she knew where to go. And why would she know where to go to the mall? Well, because she's been there. And there are theories that if you look at the door, the eye door, inside where Tall Man is sitting, you can see 6 outside the door. That means that this game, the entire events, 6 has been through all of this. 6 is in a place where she can't escape because she's going through this over and over again, whilst she knows, at least her shadow knows. Mono, on the other hand, doesn't know where he'll end up. Thin Man knows, but that's too late at this point, so I believe this game is neither a sequel nor a prequel. But then again, it is a sequel in a sense that you're playing the 6th iteration of the events, the 6th cycle of the events for at least 6's story. Anything or any event that is used to break the cycle, to progress the cycle, is a sequel. So in one way, yes, this game is a sequel, but in the other way, this game is neither a sequel nor a prequel. But that was my take. Do let me know, where do you stand in this? I think it is a pretty interesting debate. I think, to me personally, this is by far the most interesting debate for this game. Is it a sequel, prequel? Because you can bring in comics, because in Little Nightmares 2 comics we've seen 6 have this survival instinct. Where did she learn that from? Little Nightmares 1, when she got into the mall. She was showing this here. She knew a lot of stuff that we didn't as Mono. Why would she know all of that when she just entered and she just became a survivor after the massive event that happened with the eye? The mall, Signal Tower, Nest, they came later. They came late to the party. The eyes, they were here. But let's not make this even more complicated. I gave you guys evidences for prequel, I gave you guys evidences for sequel, and I gave my take on the entirety of this situation. Do let me know, where do you stand in the entirety? And I would leave you here with this one. I'm planning to go back to the Nest because that is where it all started. There are so many similarities between Nest and first Little Nightmares comics. I might go back there, then follow my way to Little Nightmares 1, and then back to Little Nightmares 2. The reason I'm making these videos, first of all, is to talk about Little Nightmares, and also biding my time whilst we're all waiting for Little Nightmares 2 DLCs. I'm positive, I'm hopeful the DLC will happen. They will surprise us. You just wait. If not, then we're just gonna get a patch, a next-gen patch that we're gonna play here on the channel. So stay tuned. Any Little Nightmares and Bandai Namco /Target Studio news, I will keep you updated. So make sure you are subscribed and notifications on, and also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, SmackNPie, because I post gaming news there as well. See you in the next one.